All right, we're going to give folks a few minutes to join. We'll give folks a few minutes to join. I'm going to be reviewing I'm going to go through a whole thing of how to do a strategic assessment. We're going to use ChatGPT. I wrote these fantastic prompts that are massive that run in the large language models. We're going to try DeepSeek. I'm a huge fan of DeepSeek. It's generated some fantastic results for us, but as you know, if you're probably using DeepSeek, you probably realize that there is a lot of downtime. There's so many people hitting it and hitting it hard that there's a lot of downtime. So we're going to share with you some of the prompts that I have. So here's what I thought I would do, right? I thought I would share with you how to do a PESTLE analysis, and then of course how to do a Porter's 5 forces analysis, right? I got beat up pretty good for saying most people aren't strategists, even if they claim to be, because I have this bias that in order to do strategy, you have to do a PESTLE analysis. And that PESTLE analysis involves understanding the political, economic, societal, technological, legal, and environmental issues that affect your industry or business, or can affect it. And let me give you a case in point. I was once with a company, and we spent a fortune doing a strategic plan, right? We thought we had it nailed. So we did a strategic plan. We did a Porter's 5 forces analysis model, which we're going to do here too. We did a segmentation analysis, and then we did a scenario planning. Most people have never done a scenario planning. I think I can count on one hand how many people have actually done it. We'll talk about a little bit. I'm going to follow up with some more videos on this if this is of interest to you. So all of a sudden, we thought there was going to be massive market consolidation, and we knew there was a piece of functionality in our software that wasn't quite, wasn't up to speed, but no one really thought it was a priority. And then out of the blue, the government comes in and says, we are going to subsidize all these software products. We're going to give you, I forget how much money, I'm going to say $5,000 if you buy software that includes this functionality. Guess what? We didn't have that functionality, right? So where we thought the market was going to collapse and people were going to want to buy a great product from a brand name, what happened is the market became more fragmented because people decided to go with that lower cost model and get subsidized $5,000 for the government. That totally destroyed our strategy. We saw our market share dwindle to nothing, right? So that's an example of a PESTLE analysis, right? We're looking at the political, economic, societal, technological, legal, and environmental factors. And then we have the Porter's 5 forces model, which we're going to cover as well. This Porter's 5 forces model is taking a look at, and we're going to take a look at it here in a second. We're actually going to run a case study, right? It takes a look at how easy is the market to penetrate, how easy is it to access the bargaining power of the suppliers. Like if you have suppliers, they're going to hold you over a cold. Bargaining power of the buyers. Do your buyers have a lot of bargaining power? And then how intense is the rivalry threat? Those are 4 things. Those are 5 things you need to take into account. So to me, you're not really doing strategy, if you will, if you're not looking at those factors. And those are the market conditions that exist outside of your organization. But what I decided first to do is a segmentation analysis, right? So who are our customers, right? So we can understand quickly who those customers are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip into ChatGPT, and then I'm also going to flip into DeepSeek. If you haven't used DeepSeek, you're missing out. It's a fantastic app. And if you're not doing a lot of prompt engineering, you're not learning how to use this stuff, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage. I say every week you delay learning AI automation and how to create agents, every week you're putting yourself back a quarter because it is impossible to keep up, right? I was fortunate enough to get on early in the beta days and start learning how to do this stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first go into Chat GPT. We're going to see if it's going to behave. And the first thing we're going to do is segmentation analysis. When we're doing our strategic planning, folks, right? If we're doing it the right way, right? And it used to cost a fortune to do it in the past, right? We're going to do a PESTLE analysis. There's a right order to do this, right? So we could understand what's going on in the macro environment. We're going to do a Porter's 5 forces analysis to understand really the competitive landscape, right? We're going to do a segmentation analysis. Who are the customers, right? Who are the potential customers in that? And I have some very detailed prompts. As a matter of fact, I have one prompt that I wrote, and I'll talk more about it later on. I'll drop in here the chat window what that prompt is. But I have all these broken out into a prompt that you can pay for. Now, if you were to try to write these prompts yourself, good luck, right? It's taken, believe it or not, the strategy prompts have really taken a year to make sure I got them massaged correctly to understand what they're doing. In this situation, we're going to pick a product or service. So I did the all-in-one platforms, e-marketing platforms, right? So just think about what's taking place around us, right, people? Especially if you're, all those government employees are getting whacked from their jobs, right? So if you're looking, we're going to see e-commerce and people are going to try to go out on their own, coaching businesses. You're going to see a lot of people trying to sell products online. They're going to need platforms. There's lots of platforms out there to do it. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that prompt. First thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you quickly the segmentation analysis, right? So I'm going to drop in, analyze this particular market. Let me share that screen with you. Give me a second. I'm going to share the Chat GPT tab. All right, I'm going to share this tab here. Okay, so all of you can see. Let me make sure I get my face out of the way there. Looks good, looking good, right? You don't want to see my face. So this is Chat GPT. I'm not using the Pro model. The Pro model is $200 a month. It is freaking amazing, right? I'm not sure how much work you're going to do. Actually, my strategy prompt ran for over an hour in the new Chat GPT Pro. Now, I saw a report where Bain & Company, that big management consulting firm, they were like, oh my God, Chat GPT did in a half hour what would have taken us 30 days to do. My prompt took even longer. That's how in-depth it is. So what we're going to do in here, is I'm actually going to drop in what I want it to do, right? And here's an example, right? So we are going to do a real case study, and we're going to continue this. We're not going to get done, because what we'll do after this is I'm going to do a segmentation analysis, followed by a PESTLE analysis, followed by a Porter's 5 forces analysis. We'll leave it there, and then we'll come back, and I'm going to show you another analysis, which everyone should understand and how to do. It's called a scenario planning. And this is where we can create 4 futuristic scenarios to understand what's going on there. So here you can see my prompt. I need, oh, holy cow, this one ran. Analyze the all-in-one. I'm going to put this in parentheses here, right? The all-in-one marketing platforms. And here's an example of some of the platforms that are out there in the USA. So this is going to do, first thing we're going to do is a segmentation analysis. Who are the people that are really interested in understanding, and what does that look like? So I'm going to hit Shift Return. Let me hit Shift Return in here. And then I actually have, let me flip over, I actually have these prompts set up in an area where I can just drop and paste them right in here. So let me get this. Bam. All right, so I have my prompt listed in here. It's going to do this demographics analysis for us. I'm going to turn on the search function too here. It's going to go out and do some research, and we're off to the races, right? So I'm going to hit go, and ChatGPT is going to start going out there and analyzing this to understand and do a segmentation analysis on what we asked for. Now, give me a second here. I'm going to flip over now into Give me another second here. I'm going to flip on over and we're going to jump into DeepSeek, right? So I'm going to open up DeepSeek. So let me share. So on the screen, you should see DeepSeek. Someone give me a thumbs up. Yep, so you see DeepSeek. That's fantastic. I'm going to drop this same chat in here. Note here, I'm going to have do it deep thinking and do the search. This may not work. DeepSeek has been timing out, right? So bam, I'm going to take a look to see if it works here. But DeepSeek has been a really, really fantastic resource, but it's been timing out quite a bit. So right here, you can see it's thinking, it's going through the process there. Now let me come back here. We're going to go back to ChatGPT. We're going to show ChatGPT on the screen here. Let's see what ChatGPT has come up with, right? Oh, it just finished. So take a look at this. We asked it to do a segmentation analysis on the all-in-one, right? We said the all-in-one platform industry, if you will, the all-in-one digital marketing platforms, and I gave it some examples. Look at this. This is freaking beautiful. I have some people in this, I know some people in this industry, so I know it's a fairly good, I know this analysis is fairly good. So it gives us a nice interview, a nice segmentation. Look at this, 5 key customer segments. Now, tell me, how can you do and plan strategy and be involved in strategy without understanding what this is? Oh, let me tell you a little tip here. I have this doing a 5-year look ahead. I said, I want you to anticipate the future. I don't want to build today's platform. I don't want to build a platform today that's based on requirements 5 years ago. So it says startup entrepreneurs, digital marketing agencies and freelancers, e-commerce store owners, coaches, consultants, and educators, established mid-sized business owners. Now it's going to give us a detailed demographics and psychographics, right? Remember, I coded this in here, right? If you go in there and you're lazy and you say, do a market analysis, and yada, 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 you're not going to get anything, right? It's going to suck, right? So here it gives me a detailed breakdown and demographics analysis of the age group, the income, the occupation of these people. So right here, it's looking at each customer segment. And then it's doing a geographic location. It's trying to figure out where these people might actually be. And remember, this is going out to the web. It's searching the web and using resources that I have plugged in. Now it's given us the startup entrepreneurs. It's given us a detailed specification. Now, by the way, I have this rank and prioritize. I said, rank and prioritize this based on what you believe the future to hold, right? So startup entrepreneurs, digital marketer agencies, e-commerce owners. So all these folks are these groups. If you were in this market space, you might decide I'm going to niche in and use one of these groups and hone in, or you might say, how can I satisfy them all? So you can see it goes into great detail. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to compare and contrast this. And you have to say, yeah, you have to admit this was pretty cool, right? Tell me you don't think that was. We just did that quick. We just did that quick analysis, if you will, and cool. I have to say I thought it was pretty cool. So now let's do this. We're going to drop into. Let me find DeepSeek. Oh, let me see if this is who are we looking at here. I can't tell if that's DeepSeek. Let me change how I can see what's on the screen here. Which one are we seeing? I think we're seeing DeepSeek right now. If someone can give me a thumbs up, what are we actually looking at? That would help tremendously. I do believe it's DeepSeek. I just want to, let me take a quick look and confirm that it is indeed DeepSeek that we're seeing on that screen. No, it's not DeepSeek. Let me show you. So here's, all right, so here we go. I think give it a second to pop up. This is our DeepSeek results, if you will. I was checking on another screen. So note here that DeepSeek gave us a different set of results. I think it has better reasoning power. So watch when we come up here and we're looking at it. Remember, it's the same exact prompt, right? So you come back and you're going to say, hey, you know what? Why are these different? Well, they are going to be different, right? Because it's going out and it's doing a look ahead. But here, and it might give it different names. So here it says the small business owners might be interested in this product, right? The little solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, the digital marketing agency, e-commerce. And here it says nonprofits, right? Nonprofits are going to be probably looking into this. And remember, we're doing a 5-year look at it. It's given us a detailed demographics. Now, ChatGPT didn't do the right thing. ChatGPT was supposed to give us the demographics by each group. So here it has the detailed demographics and psychographics of each group that we might pursue. So if you're in this business or you're thinking about being in this business where we're gonna have one of these platforms, digital marketing platforms, so people can have websites and do marketing stuff, you might want to know what's going on here. What key motivational questions do they have, right? That would be interesting if you want to reach out and market to these people. And then it goes on to the other segments and it gives us understanding of what they are. So right now, without doing a lot of effort, except all the coding, we have, and if you're, so just think about this. If you're hiring a digital marketing agency and they don't provide this information to you, that means they don't understand. How can they understand your business, right? Right here, we have more information. I guarantee you, go back to your digital marketing agency and say, hey, you know what? I need you to give me a breakdown, a market segmentation analysis, and help me understand why we're marketing and to whom we're marketing. So right here, we have a lot more details, what questions they have, what they're searching for on the web. So that's the segmentation analysis that I was talking about, right? So that segmentation analysis is, you have to admit, it's kind of cool. So if we're going to do strategy work, we need to know who the customers are, what do they look like, so that we can actually reach out and market to them, right? In this case here, I think DeepSeek did better. Now, ChatGPT has done better in the past, right? But I believe that DeepSeek gave us a better response. It gave us all of the information that I programmed into that chat. So let's do this now. So why do we need a segmentation analysis? To help us understand our customer segments, right? Not all customers are created equal. You might have been going after a customer niche or market that may not have been viable. So like I said, we just did that segmentation analysis. If your marketing agency isn't providing that for you and analyzing that for you, you're probably missing the mark. So understanding who that customer is and then deciding who can you satisfy. You can go back and ask it more questions. And then you can even go back and I have a profile sheet. If you're interested in a profile sheet, I have a profile sheet that you fill out and you can upload, and it will analyze to see what gaps you have in your strategy or whom you might be best serving, right? So again, we're serving that one individual market. So we're going to go back into ChatGPT now. So give me a second here. I want to make sure we're in ChatGPT. And in ChatGPT, what we're going to do is we're going to do the actual PESTLE analysis. Again, you're not doing strategy work if you're not taking a look at the macro environment around you. You're missing out on a huge part of that game, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this up here, the segmentation analysis that we did. And let's see here. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm being kind of lazy, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit Shift Return. Again, this is the markets we're going to look at, right? So we're going to understand the competitiveness of this product and what's going on. Let me go in here. I'm going to drop in my PESTLE prompt. And you can see here, it's doing a 5-year look ahead. Scenario planning is about looking into the future and understanding what's going on. But we're going to do a PESTLE analysis here. We're going to let that run. So right here, our prompt is running. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be lazy. I'm going to copy and paste this prompt. And I'm going to drop it into DeepSeek. And we're going to see what it actually tells us. Right? So I'm going to copy this. Let me change my screen here for you so you can see I'm going to DeepSeek. We're going to drop it in here. No guarantees DeepSeek's going to run, folks, because DeepSeek has been very finicky in timing out for us. So again, we're going in here. We're looking at the all-in marketing platforms like Kartra, GoHighLevel, and stuff like that. You might be going out on doing business on your own. You want to have a membership site and courses. You would have to do that. So right here, I can see that I think this is going to time out on us, and we're going to have to come back. So DeepSeek has been having a lot of problems. It's really good. Now, these prompts also work in Gemini, right? So if you're using Google, but the prompts work in there, they work in a lot. See right here, server busy, right? So it's not gonna run for us, but that's okay. We're gonna go back and take a look at ChatGPT to see the results that it brought back. So that's the downside right now of using a DeepSeek, if you will. So let me come back into here. I'm going to flip over. We're going to go into ChatGPT. I should be showing ChatGPT right here. So ChatGPT, great. Here we are in ChatGPT. We're going to come down here. Holy cow, look at this gorgeous analysis, right? You know, how can we say we're strategic when we're not taking a look at our macro environment? So this is letting us know, look how detailed this is. Now, just think about if you're a consultant and you're going in and you want to bid on some work with a client. Imagine if you said, even if you're not doing strategy, you would say, hey, look, I know these are the challenges, or we believe these are the challenges that are upcoming. We have a good understanding of your business, right? So here it talks a lot about California, of course, and how it's affecting the world. But here's an introduction of what's going on in this marketplace. Oh, you know what happened? I put a sample in there of EV cars. So it's looking at the EV cars emissions, but you can see it does that whole analysis, a detailed assessment of what's taking place in the environment. And what I'm going to do is no, right? Analyze let me come back here and grab this, because within these prompts, you can teach it how you want it formatted, and EV is in there. Analyze this market. Do not use the examples in the prompt. All right, so this is live, man. This is great stuff. So it's going to go back and run, right? And it's going back out and thinking about what's taking place out there. And ChatGPT, and of course, DeepSeek is still down. So here it is. It's running. It's analyzing the prompt, right? Because here, which you see, it was using that vehicle. So when you're writing great prompts, what you can do is you put examples of the output in there, right? So I use the EV car market. Here's an example of what that output looks like. So what happened is that ChatGPT went out and picked that up. So here, now it's done. Let's see if see what this looks like here. So again, we're looking at we're analyzing the digital marketing platforms, right? We want to understand what's taking place in that market, right? So here are the political factors, data privacy issues, right? So any of these agencies, especially coming up, we're looking 5 years ahead, there's going to be a concern around data privacy, right? We're going to probably hit those European markets. Digital advertising guidelines, right? Who's going to be responsible, and what kind of data tracking are we going to have on digital marketing, right? There might be some government incentives for technology, it's thinking. Trade policies and international sourcing. How is this going to affect your work, right? And then political stability and policy continuity out there. Are we going to continue to have these investments in technology? Right? So then it gives you the impact and strategic recommendations, right? So just think about this. This is freaking amazing. You have to say, this is absolutely amazing. Again, we are just doing the first step of an actual strategy, right? Everyone says they're strategists, but so now we're looking at the economic conditions here, what's taking place, where they think is going to take place on the economic side of things, digital advertising expenditure, what is what it plans or thinks taking place here, what's taking place with small businesses as they get into this and understand more of the digital marketing. Is there going to be venture capitalist groups entering the market, right? So on these platforms, if there's a lot of information that can be gathered about products and services and who's using them. So will you be the product, right? You might think you're the consumer of this digital marketing platform, but you might actually be paying to be the product of it, if you will, because you have other analysis here. So here it talks about the social possible implications of what's taking place in that marketplace, technological advances, right? One of the big thing here is in these digital marketing platforms, if you don't have AI involved and AI to automatically generate the funnels, AI to do your A/B testing, you're way behind the eight ball. This is almost to the point where this is considered a standard entry. So if you're thinking about going into this marketplace and you don't have AI capabilities built into your product to help build the websites, build the funnels, A/B test your marketing, you're going to be in trouble. Of course, bringing back the data, big data analytics. If your platforms don't bring back, if they don't bring back data for your clients to understand and make better decisions, you're lost, right? So what good does it do me to have a website and a funnel to buy classes if I can't get data out of it? So coming out of this, right, you have to have AI, right, to analyze the data and to help build those pages. And then you either have to have AI to do this big data analytics. So we can go on, but I just, again, legal issues that are coming up. What do we expect coming up? And then environmental concerns, energy consumption, sustainable business practice, all these things that, that people might, these feel good things that people might be interested in knowing about your company. So right here, this is what it looks like. So this PESTLE analysis will inform us of what is taking place around us. And you can come in here and you can talk to this document. You can upload your document to understand greater of what's going on there. So what do you think? So far, we did that PESTLE analysis: political, economic, societal, technology, legal, and environmental concerns. That would be interesting to know, right? If you're a digital marketer, you have to know that for your clients, right? Including that segmentation. If you're a consultant and you're going in to bid on work, it'd be nice to know what you're getting into or have that little value add. Now, let's see, any questions? No, I don't see any questions. So here's what we're going to do. We've only been on here about 20 minutes. So I am now going to show you the next step, which is the Porter's 5 Forces model. This is critical in strategy, right? Understanding the market, how the competitiveness of that product and service, right? So understanding how are we going to compete? Is it easy to get in and out of, right? Some industries, they might have high startup costs and be ugly. So let's take a look. Let's analyze this industry to see what happens. We're going to go back and use ChatGPT. So I'm going to come into ChatGPT here, right? So let's open up ChatGPT, and we're going to have it, again, we're going to ask it to, I'm going to ask it to analyze. Let me see. First, I don't want to put my prompt in there. Let me get this first. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to grab this, and hopefully you know how to use ChatGPT and all the tricks and how to edit your prompts and things like that. So what I'm actually looking for is how to go back and do this, right? I think that ChatGPT is, and understanding how to use these large language models is going to create a great divide. I think you either know how to use it or you don't know how to use it. We already know that it's wiping out middle management because it's so it can handle decision rules so easily. Shift enter. So we're going to analyze. Oh, look at this. I even have it spelled wrong. I'm going to analyze this, but what we're going to do is we're going to do the Porter's 5 Forces analysis, right? So let me drop in here. I'm going to drop the prompt in here. Porter's 5 Forces analysis. I'm going to hit go. and this is going to run off to the races. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab this and see if I can get my favorite. I love DeepSeek, my friends. I absolutely love DeepSeek. We're going to see if I can get, I'm going to see if I can get, I'm scrolling up. I'm going to see if I can get this to roll out in DeepSeek. DeepSeek, I think, gives us such a great answer. If you want to know how to get access to DeepSeek, because the limiting access, I know all these tricks, if you will. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's jump over. We're going to come over to DeepSeek, which I love. We're going to put that in there. Let's see if it's going to time out on us. It's probably going to time out. It's lunchtime. Everybody's in here, you know, especially all the government employees in here getting their resumes cleaned up. All right, so it's running. It's not going to run. I can tell already it's going to time out on me, but that's okay. We're going to go right back to ChatGPT, and we're going to see what it says for us on our 5 forces analysis, if you will. Okay, so let's make sure we come over here. Great. I think we're going to see. I'm going to wait a second. All right, here we go. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. This little arrow here in ChatGPT will take you down to the bottom. So did I run the wrong thing? Let's see what we have here. Let me scroll back up. And the trick here, folks, I'll show you a trick. If you want to copy and paste this into another document, if you copy the screen and paste it, it's going to show markdown formatting. There's a website called Markdown to HTML, which will reformat this for you so it's better used, right? So here we go. Below is a comprehensive five-year look ahead of the Porter's 5 forces analysis for the all-in-one digital marketing platforms, right? And then you can see I gave it some examples. So I was priming it. Hey, look, you know, in case you're not familiar with what it is I'm trying to analyze, let me give you some examples. So it's doing a look ahead for us, right? And helping us understand where it is, right? A lot of times people will just take a stagnant shot of where we are or where we've been, and that's what they use for their strategy. We're thinking ahead, folks. We want to say, look, what was good enough today isn't going to be good enough tomorrow. Just think of the pace of these large language models. So we have the threat of entries, right? This is how easy is it to get into this marketplace, right? So, and what are the things that affect it? Right? So barriers to entry. It says there's a capital requirements, right? There's a lot of capital requirements of getting into this environment and into this game. Patent and intellectual protection, brand loyalty in the market. Like, so if you're using one of these products, you're probably going to stick with it regardless of what's going on. Regulatory hurdles about licensing and advertising, access to these distribution channels. Maybe you can't get onto a SaaS platform to host this great software that you have, right? So this is what it's saying. So the detailed impact says the entrance into the marketplace is moderate, right? On one hand, software-based models and cloud technologies lower initial capital requirements, right? If we're having it hosted somewhere else. However, here we go, accelerated AI advancements are really taking over here, right? We know, I believe in another 2 years, everyone's going to be able to write their own software and code it and custom applications, right? So I think the cost of software and the value of SaaS platforms is going nowhere, because you're going to be able to say, hey, look, I want a software package to do X, Y, and Z. I'm similar to this functionality, build it for me for nothing, and you're going to have agents doing that. And then it tells us the opportunities, right? So this is the opportunities. And here we're just looking at one aspect, threat of new entrants, right? So basically, how easy is it to get in and out of the game? The bargaining power of suppliers. Now, this is if we're buying products or services from somewhere else. In this space, it's cloud service providers. So probably not a lot of competition there, right? But so is the supplier concentration. Now, how many of you thought about that when you were doing your strategy planning, right? Switching costs for the industry. How hard is it to switch off a platform? Let's say I'm hosted on Amazon Web Services and I want to go onto another platform. How hard is it to move off that platform on and off? Are there substitute products, right, that we can use? Yeah, there's tons of substitute products out there. Suppliers' ability to integrate forward, right? Understanding how these digital products are being moved forward. So here it gives us a detailed assessment of this industry, right? And then the opportunities, the threats, and strategic recommendations, right? They said providers should diversify their supplier base, right? Maybe not have everything on one source, invest in developing proprietary technologies or agreements. Now, the buyers, the consumers of your products and services, what kind of power do they have in concentration, right? So, who are the buyers, right? So, we already know this from our segmentation analysis that we did, right? We had a good idea. It says, while many are price sensitive, the overall market is highly fragmented, right? A fragmented industry is ripe for consolidation and buyouts and stuff like that, or putting people out of business, right? I love fragmented industries trying to consolidate them and take over. Individual buyers wield limited power, however, larger agencies can negotiate terms. Switching costs, right? Switching costs are associated with if I went with a different product. So let's say I'm on GoHighLevel, and all of a sudden I want to decide I wanted to go on Kartra. How hard is it to switch over? I think technology-wise, it's going to get easier, but switching costs can be problematic here. Availability of substitute products. How many products are out there that are substitutes to you? Buyers' potential to integrate backwards, and then level of product differentiation. So when we look here, it says the opportunities lie in building high switching costs through deep integrations. So this is almost like the Delta strategic plan, right? Where you want to have system lock-in. So what you want to do is make it difficult. Let's say make it difficult for people to migrate off your platform, and make sure by having deep integrations into all those other apps. So maybe the funnel builder and the web page builder are tied in really closely. Maybe you have the email system is locked in really tightly. So it's almost like a seamless. It's going to be hard for someone to get off that platform. Threats include price and the risk that buyers may develop in-house solutions, right? So with the advances of APIs and the ability in software and these AI agents to do whatever they have to do for you is going to be problematic. Threat of substitute products or services, right? So how can we substitute our products or services? So you can see it gave us a detailed impact assessment. Again, what are the opportunities here, right? It says the detailed impact. The threat of substitute products is high. So you're going into a market or industry where there's a lot of products that people have lots of choices, right? So how do we stay in the game? Rivalry. This is the fifth dimension here. It's competitive rivalry. Are we going to get into a price war or a feature war within this product space? And let's see what it says here. We're just going to come down to the bottom line here. Competitive rivalry is intense and is likely to remain so for the next 5 years. So the existing providers are going to be going at it, right, intensely. Remember, there's low switching costs, right? Especially if you don't have deep integration. If you don't have AI, that might be another disadvantage to you. And then it gives us the overall assessment of this industry in 5 years. So this is how we can use AI. Let me go back here and see what DeepSeek did. DeepSeek is letting us down, folks. It is not running. I wish I could show you everything. It is so gorgeous, the output. So here's the overall assessment. So we did an overall PESTLE environment, right? I think there's going to be lots of regulations around data privacy, right? All these new laws that are coming in, advertising laws on how people are using your platforms, right? Political, economic, societal, technology, legal, environmental issues. And now we just did a Porter's 5 forces analysis to understand how competitive is this marketplace, right? Is it easy to get in and out of? So here it says accelerated technology advancements and AI and automation will reshape this industry, right? I said it earlier. If you don't have the ability to create AI ads with AI that can do A/B testing, you're kind of screwed. If you can't create websites that are focused on the segmentation analysis so that you can track your business and have AI analyze that, you're screwed. If you don't have the ability to have data to analyze, you're kind of screwed on the platform, right? So incumbents who continuously innovate and invest in integrated AI-powered solutions will dominate, right? While entries will face high technology and regulatory issues, right? So already the established dominant players that have already, high customer satisfaction, getting the AI built into their deep integration and create high switching costs, right? Those are going to be the people that win the game. So it says here, AI-driven integration and automation will redefine the products and services. So when we say automations, it's able to trigger events, trigger emails. You might even say that if my website isn't getting the right traffic and people aren't sticking to it, go to this, develop a new design, change the color scheme. All this A/B testing, believe it or not, exists out there. I have an AI agent running right now, creating TikTok videos to understand my demographics and my buyers. And it switches out the videos, it switches out what it's saying, and I'm seeing a huge increase in impressions. So here it gives us our strategic recommendation. I have it break it out real quickly. What does it look like in this industry of how we're going to compete? Look at this. Look how much data we just generated, right? Imagine if you're a consultant, again, and you're going in there and you're going to bid on some work or with a client, and you show up, say, yeah, you know what? I know we're bidding on this little bit of work here. I know we're trying to improve your throughput or something like that. But by the way, have you considered these other factors in the macro environment? And let's look at the rest of the industry here. What do you really need to do, based on this Porter's 5 forces analysis? That would be golden. So here, upskill, reskill workers. Look how detailed this is. An overall assessment, and that's the Porter's 5 forces analysis. And that's all I wanted to cover in this presentation was just I'm going to do another one, right? We'll do another one. And in the next one, we're going to continue down this path of becoming actual strategists. So we've already said that we have to do a PESTLE analysis to understand our client's macro environment, because that might affect the strategy that we develop, how we market ourselves. Remember, strategy is about how we compete in the marketplace. That is what strategy is, right? Most people think that strategy is like, all right, we set up these goals and stuff like that, and this is what we've done, and everything's hunky-dory, and this is how it's going to be. But that's not what strategy is. Strategy is about how to compete, and that's why I say such few people have actually really been involved in strategy work, if you will. So we talked about doing a PESTLE analysis, the importance of that, understanding that macro environment, if you will, right? We talked about the PESTLE analysis. We've also spoken about the Porter's 5 forces analysis, how competitive, how easy to get in and out of the marketplace, and what dynamics do we have there. I threw in the segmentation analysis. That's a lot of fun to do, just to see what our clients look like. So just think about that. That is critical. Even if you're not a strategist, let's say you're dealing with a marketing company and they're like, hey, we're going to market your product. If they can't give you this kind of information, who the hell are they? They're taking a guess, right? We have at least a better informed decision right now about what is actually, or what potentially could take place in our marketplace. And that is what we're actually looking for. We want to know, me on the screen. I'm going to stop sharing everything here. So that's how we can go forward. And I'm going to show you how to use the rest of these prompts going forward. I can't show you the prompts themselves because they took years to develop. But if you have any questions, I'm not sure where you're coming in from. Go ahead and ask me the questions or email me the questions. Believe it or not, right now we're streaming to 2 YouTube channels. We're streaming to Instagram. We're streaming to 4 Facebook channels. We're streaming to not TikTok. We're streaming to X. We're streaming to Kick. We're streaming to Trovo. I can't even remember the other ones. So with my platform here, we're streaming all over the place, and not all of them, I can see all your messages. So send me a message, drop me a message, like, share, wherever you are, inform me. We're going to continue this. And the next thing, what we're going to cover is probably one of the most critical tools going forward, is called scenario planning. Again, that's how we can really tell who's in strategy. And scenario planning, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze, we're going to continue with this case study, right? This is an interesting case study because technology is dominating it. But we're going to take a look and do scenario planning, which we're going to do a 5-year look ahead. And we'll say, in 5 years, what does the future look like? And we're going to develop, it's going to develop 4 scenarios for us. It's going to be based on the PESTLE analysis. It's going to be based on the Porter's 5 forces analysis, on the segmentation analysis. So it's going to say, in 5 years, here are 4 possible scenarios. Now, are they going to be perfect? No, but at least it's going to give us something to think about, something to shoot for. Maybe it shows us a blind spot, right? Remember I told you we got that blind spot out of nowhere where the government came in and subsidized all this product and it crushed us in the marketplace. It took us a year to recover, man. It was awful, right? But it was one of the, we never considered that. And I'm trying to remember if we had done scenario planning in that case, which would have been my fault, right? But it's indeed happened. So if you like this, please like, share, comment, wherever you are. I'm not sure which day I'm going to do the follow-up, but we're going to do scenario planning. That's a fantastic one to do. We're going to continue this conversation. We're going to do blue ocean strategy. A lot of people talk about blue ocean strategy. It was a buzzword there for a long time and again, but we're going to show you how, after we've done the PESTLE analysis, the Porter's 5 forces analysis, the segmentation analysis, the scenario planning analysis, now we're going to jump in, and all that data is kept there. We're going to do a blue ocean strategy. And what that's going to do, it's going to say, oh, here are all the things we think is going to happen. Here's what you need to do more of, less of. And then it's going to give us a strategy, 4 different, I think it gives us 4 or 5, it depends on 4 or 5 different strategies. It depends what the AI comes up with of possible ways to compete that no one's involved in, right? So just think about this as a highly competitive product or service. AI and automation is critical. And let's see what it comes up with. We're going to see can we compete with the established players using that blue ocean strategy. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I find this to be absolutely fascinating. Like, share, comment, please. Let me know what you think. If you're a strategist or you're in this industry and you want to be on the next show and talk about what you see, what you like, what you don't like, what you think is bogus, that would be great, right? Everyone can learn together. So have a great one, folks. And we'll see you.